What's up? What's up? Come on up. Come on up. I don't see the little circle around my face. Oh, there it goes. I think it's working. Do you guys hear me? Ladies?
Yep, good morning.
Awesome.
Good morning.
Feels like it's been forever. It has been almost a month, I guess. But just getting all my ducks in a row here. We'll wait till like five after or so to start. I know the other room was still going on, so people are still hanging out there probably. Or rooms. One definitely was. The other one, I don't know. Mod some of you up here. And we'll get started in 2 minutes. Is nobody in here is in Pennsylvania yet? There's an AI for Realtors put on by the PA Association of Realtors at 10 o'clock. So I'm going to go to that, and then I'm going to report everything back to Connie so she can make sure hers is better. Probably is already, I'm guessing. Probably all be refresher stuff for any of us in these rooms.
I
Got
agree. None
mod
of the
people.
the local AI training courses compare at all to what we've already learned.
Yeah, the association stuff is always very high level overview kind of stuff. It never gives you much of anything, unless it's me teaching it. Then you better be ready for a fire hose of information, which just kind of confuses people too. So I see it why they do it the other way, as to not overwhelm people. What do I got? One, two, three, four, five. Make a couple more. Deborah, Carla, probably enough moderators. Come up, come up. All right, we're four after. We'll get started. People will come in as rooms end and people see the room going and everything. Does feel like it's been forever. Glad to be back. It was fun to take a couple weeks off. But it is good to be back. And I need this because I need to send this is my weekly email that I send out to for marketing business. So I need to keep this going and do this every week, if not just so I have something to email out to everybody. But good to be back. I'll reset the room and then we'll get started. You're in the Google for Real Estate House. Click the house above to join if you haven't already. We're here every Wednesday, 9 to 10 a.m. I'm Derek Bixler, born and raised in South Central Pennsylvania, single dad of three, commercial and residential real estate agent of 17 years, outdoor adventure sportsman, and Google marketing geek. In this room, we talk about how to dominate Google local search and get business from our Google business profiles, as well as discuss and share best practices and ideas and strategies with the vast array of Google marketing and productivity tools. So we aren't always talking about marketing. Sometimes we talk about email and notes and databases and sheets and forms and all the different Google stuff. Replays are available at the link up top right now. You can access all of them at that link. At some point, they might be gated or something, but right now you can access all replays via that link up there. And the most recent replay is available for 7 days. So today I'll delete the last one, which has at this point been there for like 3 weeks now, I guess, since I skipped a couple weeks. But today I will delete previous ones, and today's replay will be available for 7 days on Clubhouse till next week. Please come up to stage. Your participation is welcome and encouraged. Or if you know something about, so you can ask questions and chime in and stop me if you have questions or anything. But if you're also an expert or know something about something, or you have experience in something I'm talking about, I would love to hear it and like input. And if you're in some other profession or you know somebody in a different local type business, anything that we talk about in here could also be applied pretty much to any local business as well. And most of the stuff we talk about here translates. So if you are not a realtor or a lender or a real estate world, most of this stuff will apply to anyone. Today we'll talk about, I'm kind of keeping it easy on myself. I guess it's easy. A live audit. It just means I don't have to come up with any program or slide deck or anything to present. I can just, we'll find a profile and we'll nitpick it. And that a lot of times brings to light a lot of the questions. Sometimes I see new things and I'm like, oh, I like what they did there. And we figure out something new to do. In past, it has taken me 3 weeks, so 3 total hours to audit a profile. I'm going to try to do it a little bit faster this time and try to go through a profile all in just 1 hour here, a little bit quicker. But depending on questions and things, maybe it can carry over. We'll do a little bit of asking me anything before we start into the audit. If you have any questions or issues or anything you need help with, Review Exchange is always on and is still on now. So drop your review link in the chat if you would like to. And give people reviews. Again, if you give somebody a review, best practice is to take a screenshot of said review and send it to the person, both to guilt them into giving you one and to prove to them that you did indeed give them one, because Google, as we know, sometimes does not let them through for various reasons. So you can drop your link in there. Totally okay to do that. If you don't know where to get your review link, you just go to your dashboard, click on reviews, and then there's a button that says get reviews, and there is a link there to copy. And then they even added a separate button on some browsers and things that just says get reviews, and you click that and it's direct access to that link. So just drop that link in there. After this, yeah, after this, we'll be ending promptly at like 10 or 5 of probably, because there is a, like I mentioned, a PA, Pennsylvania Association of Realtors webinar on AI for realtors. I think it's going to be a waste of time, but I just kind of want to scope it out and then report back to Connie of what they're doing. And maybe there's a tidbit she could add, but I'm guessing again that it's way behind what we all know in these rooms from Connie and just from talking to everybody, and being in the know all the time. And then next week, I have a special guest. We're actually going to be talking about Pinterest marketing. So obviously that has nothing to do with Google, but it does have to do with marketing. And Pinterest is a search type platform. So it does fall into kind of a SEO uh, purview. So Favor, and not even going to try to say his last name. Is he in here? I don't see him in here. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. He's from Nigeria. He lives here now, but in Houston or Dallas, somewhere in Texas, I think. But Favor is his first name, and you've probably seen him if you're on Clubhouse a lot and follow marketing rooms or follow where I go. Sometimes he does a lot of SEO and marketing rooms and things. And he's really into Pinterest right now, and I've made some connections with him. He is actually kind of my website guy now, I think, or at least I'm going to be trying him out, because he does a lot with websites. That's a lot of what he does. He can build on different platforms, and he has marketing in mind when he builds websites. A lot of times when you get a website built, it's by a designer, quote unquote, and they know how to make it look pretty and make it look how you tell them to make it look, but it's not necessarily set up for marketing with SEO things correct, with headings and things better for conversion, with all the Facebook pixels and Google Tag Manager and analytics and the Google remarketing tag and the Pinterest remarketing code and all those cookies and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people don't think about that, but Favor and his team definitely do. So that's why I'm using them for websites. And he'll be here, like I said, next week, and we will be talking about Pinterest marketing next week with Favor. So let's jump into it. We'll start with Ask Me Anything. And I do have a couple pieces of news also, I guess. Not anything. well, kind of big, but I'll just kind of go through them. But I'll do ask me anything first. Does anybody have any issues, questions, burning problems with Google other than reviews not showing up?
Oh, that's a good question. Hi, Derek. It's Monique. How are you?
Hello, what's up?
Can you hear me? All right. So I'm running a Google ad, and out of nowhere, I got 147 clicks on one, I guess, keyword, which makes no sense. I feel like it's a fraud or something. How do you deal with stuff like that?
If you have, it depends what kind of campaign you have set up, blah, blah, blah. But generally, you can negative keyword something. So
Oh,
typically, when you set up a real estate ad, you pick keyword themes that you want to target. They have some that are pre-populated, and then you can kind of customize some. But ultimately, once the ad starts showing, you will start spending money on keywords you don't really want to show up for. So after you start running an ad, you want to go in there and look at all the keywords you're showing up for and turn off negative keyword, um, turn them off for any that you don't want to show up for. So like when I'm trying to set up a seller, I'm just trying to hit sellers or people looking for a listing agent, which by the way will get you nothing because there's very little clicks for on the listing side if you're running ads for anything. But um, if I'm trying to run for sellers, I'm at the setup, I'm setting it up with keyword themes for like sellers agents, sell home fast, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, and I could even negative keyword some that I know I don't want to show up for, homes for sale, whatever, proactively at the beginning. But ultimately, once I start running the ad, I'm gonna have to go back in there and check it. And sometimes you'll even see, like I've seen some ads messed up to the point where they're showing up for like restaurant queries and queries that have absolutely nothing. And there's like hundreds of these absolutely nothing queries. So there's a glitch or something's wrong there. So you definitely want to do that and make sure it's not spending a bunch of your money on some bogus keyword or clicks like maybe is happening to you. So yeah, that's generally that sounds like what it is. Does that sound right? Or possibly it?
I mean, I guess. I mean, it's not a negative keyword, but I feel like out of nowhere, there's like 147 clicks in one day on one name. So I don't know if it's somebody playing a trick. I don't know.
It could be. It could be just Google after a while learns and it
Oh,
just
maybe.
kind of that day learned that like this query, people like to click on this ad for this query. And that happened to be the day that it like,
Oh,
bing, we're going to
right.
start showing it for that one.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And now you just got a whole bunch of clicks. If they're good clicks for a good term, let it fine. But if they're bad, yeah, turn that off.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep, yep. Anybody else? Follow ups to that, input to that, or different questions, issues?
Hey, Derek, it's Jess in Chicago. How are you?
Yo, what's up?
All right, question for you. My office that I'm in is in Oswego, so we set up my page to be in Oswego, which is awesome. So now I'm popping up in those searches. But what I'm realizing is that the office is opening up a new location in another town, which is an area that I serve, and but it's not like the keyword in my profile, if that makes sense. And when I look at my recent sales, 80% of my sales are in that town where the new office is going to be. So do I create another profile and make that, because I'm Jessica Taylor in Oswego, but now we're going to have now we're going to have North Aurora. And I really want to take, like, there's so much more market share there, so much more opportunity. And I've actually had more sales there. So do I work with what I have and make my page somehow, more North Aurora friendly, or do I make a new dedicated North Aurora Google page?
You move it is the short answer. You can't have duplicates unless it's like an actual, like you were an actual business with an actual other location with blah, blah, blah. So if you created a new one, you might get away with it for a little while, but at some point, both of them would get messed up and you'd have to combine them or get rid of one. So you would have to move it if you wanted to rank there. And as far as the work to be done, the hardest part would be the re-verification. Other than doing the verification video for the location change, the rest is fairly easily in your title, your name, you just change it. If we have it in there, you change that to the new place, the new keyword. Um, And really, there's not anywhere else. Maybe in the cover photo, if we have that in your cover photo, if we had Oswego, I don't remember if we do. Sometimes I call out the place in there. But those are like the only two places I can think where you really have to change it on the Google Business Profile itself, other than the location itself and doing the re-verification. Um, and then website, you would want to, if you were doing website optimizations or even the kind of more simple ones that the 101 ones that I do with people or recommend or whatever, you would have to change those keywords from Oswego to what was it, North Aurora,
Yes.
or
Yes.
at
Okay.
least include both at least. So not a ton of work to do. And if that's where you want to rank, I would move there for sure. And if that's where your business is already, and all your sold homes on your
Hmm.
profile will be saying North Aurora, and it will all just go perfectly together. Yeah, I think that's great.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
And if no other agents at your office, you'll probably be one of the first to move there also. So you could kind of, as far as your office goes anyway, you could kind of dominate that location. Anybody else? Any questions related to that or any other questions, issues?
Hey, Derek, I just have one quick question. I think I've asked you this before. I'm just a little nervous because of all of the problems that might happen with it. But I still have my profile listed at my old brokerage address. I'm no longer at that brokerage, and that brokerage is actually no longer at that address any longer. And so I've considered hiding my address or just removing my address. I'm not sure which would be better. But I've also seen articles on like Sterling Sky that say that like there was a case study where they hid someone's address and their ranking actually fell, and then they re-added their address and their ranking came back. So I'm a little nervous to do it. But what's been your experience?
Yeah. First question is, would you like to stay there and rank? Is that where you would like to rank in proximity to
I mean, it wouldn't hurt.
the old
I mean, it
address?
wouldn't hurt. It's pretty close to a pretty good neighborhood or a few good neighborhoods, so that wouldn't hurt. But I'm curious if like if I removed the address or hid the address, I'm curious if I would rank more broadly for my city. Like if out of town people were looking for an agent, or if that would or am I looking at it wrongly?
No, yeah, I wouldn't look that deep into it. Just look at, is that where I want to rank in proximity to? If you would like to remain ranking in proximity to where that verification pin is sitting right now, then just hide the address and leave it there. As far as ranking or beating other, mine is hidden and I beat all the people around me, people with 800 reviews. There's one rental guy that beats me sometimes, and I don't know why the hell he does, but anyway. Yeah, so hiding the address, and I know of the studies. I follow Sterling Sky and all those blogs and webinars and all that content. And a lot of those have to do with, yeah, there is somebody, I hesitate to even say this because then people are going to think it's a thing, but there has been sightings or evidence now of, if you are if you hide your address, so a business without a physical location, the service areas that you select might, there have been sightings of it, but it's not official, might help dictate where you show up or rank, if that makes sense. So typically in the past, whether it's a physical location showing an address or it's you're hiding the address, but it still has a location with Google, you would only rank in proximity to that. But now, if this new thing is true, and again, I'm not saying it is, and there's been limited of it, but it would be huge news if it is a thing. And I actually have evidence that I think might support it of recent. But if you hide the address, then your service areas that you select can help you rank in those service areas theoretically farther away from your verification pin, if that makes sense. So there could be some benefit. There's benefit in having a physical location because obviously you look more reputable. You have an office, you have a directions button, you have extra attributes that you can add. There is some speculation that a physical address ranks better. Again, I don't buy into that really, but there are some kind of studies that have said it, whatever. So there is definitely some advantage having a physical address. But if this is true, having a server, hiding your address, and then being able to dictate, at least even if it was a little bit, where you show up by your service areas, that would be a good thing. The evidence I saw recently, after I heard that, I was like, well, I want to go audit my service areas because I'm hiding my location. And if this is true, I want to make sure I have all the service areas selected that I want to have selected. So I made sure all my counties were selected, and I always start with counties. So those were good. And then I added a couple cities that I didn't have in there, and one in particular I added, and then like a day later, I got a call from somebody in Shermansdale, and I'm going there tomorrow, I think, a listing call from Google in Shermansdale. Previously, I did not have Shermansdale selected. I did have Perry County, the county that it's in, selected, but I did not have Shermansdale specifically selected. I selected it a day or two later. I got a call. Hey, you work in Shermansdale, right? So is it? And I'm not close to Shermansdale either. That's in another county. Another. I mean, it's a good 5, 10, 20 miles. Not 5, 10. It's probably 20 miles maybe. So it's not close to me. It is in Perry County where there's like one traffic light and there's only like 30 sales a month. So there's not probably not a lot of businesses or realtors there. So it would make sense that it would be pulling realtors from farther away anyway. But just kind of speculation there. Maybe me selecting Shermansdale helped me kind of pop up for that query when that person searched. I don't know. So did I confuse you? Did I go off the rails there, or did that
No, no,
help
no,
at all?
no. And I think the comment about the service areas helping you rank for those areas, whether it's true or not, I think that kind of answered one of my questions also. But I was just, more or less just nervous about getting a suspension. And what I've read, and maybe you can confirm that. And I'll once I ask this, I'll let you go into the audit because I think that's what everybody's probably waiting on. But is that um, and I just drew a blank. I'll come back to it, but I totally went blank. But you go ahead and
Yeah,
do what you were going
just
to do
hide
there.
the address. If you still want to rank there, just hide the address, and you're done. No, nothing will
Oh,
happen.
that's what I was. Sorry. That's what I was thinking. Like, so you've not seen any evidence where if you hide the address, there's been suspensions. That's
Definitely
not
not a
been
suspension.
okay.
A drop in rankings. I don't buy that either.
Okay. All right. Thanks. I don't want to take up the room, but yeah, thanks.
Yep, yep. Anybody else? Any questions, issues, follow-ups to that? Speak now or
Hello,
forever.
good morning.
What's up? Who's that?
This is Lisbeth from Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
Ooh,
And I
sweet. I sold the George Washington Tavern. Do you know what that is?
did you?
Yeah, George Washington stayed there. That was what I told everybody when they came to look at it. But anyway, what's up?
Nice. I am uh, wondering, I know I had heard you before, but I was driving, I couldn't write it down. I'm having an open house, and you said when you have an open house to put it in Google, but I couldn't catch the rest.
Say that again. I'm sorry, I was breaking up a little bit.
Regarding open house, if I want to, I'm going to be doing one pretty soon, but I would like to have it on Google. Is there a way that I could put it there or
Gotcha.
a coming up listing?
Yeah, so for listings on Google, I don't do much for active listings, quite honestly. For events, you would definitely want, it's good to have an event on your profile. So when people are looking at your profile, it's more complete and you have that line item of events coming up from this business. So it's good to always add open houses as events. Like you would click add update, add event, and then you add it just like a Facebook event would be. So I would definitely add it there. Will doing that get you more traffic to the open house? Will it get a bunch of clicks on the event? Will it do anything for the open house? No, probably not. But it's more of a keeping your business profile complete and a little more of a brownie point with Google that you have an event on your profile and that kind of thing. So I would recommend it there. That's pretty much the only way you can put it on there, other than you could just post a regular update, like a normal update that you would do on a regular basis about the open house as well. If you're posting something about the open house on Instagram and Facebook, the same post could also then be put on the Google business profile if you would want to. Um, you could promote the listing in general. It wouldn't be open house specific, but if you wanted to put the listing in general on your Google business profile, you could also add it as a product. I don't generally like to add coming soons, for sales, pendings, anything in there as a product, only because it becomes a policing. You forget to change it, so you got to change the image and what it says in the title to be super compliant and clear and yada yada. So every time something changes, you got to go in there and change all the stuff, and you forget and blah blah blah. So I don't put active ones in my products. I only add them in my products after they're sold. So you definitely want a bank of sold properties in your products, but I don't typically add active ones in there. But you could, and if you don't have a lot of listings, or even if you do, or whatever, you could add it there if you wanted to at least be able to tell the seller an extra, I have it on my Google as this and it's as an event and I'm promoting it anywhere. You could probably just say I'm promoting it on Google in these ways and they'll just hear Google and think it's all over Google and assume you're doing tons of stuff for it. Beyond that, you'd have to get into paid strategies, which I don't think would be worth it. You'd be better off doing paid stuff on Meta first before you dive into Google paid stuff. Does that help?
Yes, thank you so much.
Yep, yep. Anybody else? Sweet. Maybe I should take a few
Hey,
weeks off
I'm
more
so
often because
sorry.
people have questions. Go ahead. What's up?
Hey, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I was not real close to my phone. This is Maria from Mississippi. I have a question. I have okay. I'm the broker owner of my company, so we have a Google page. Well, I also sell, and so when I have 6 agents or 7 now that sell, so I'm confused on how I continue to push my company on Google as well as myself because I don't have my own Google. Everybody just we just send everybody to the company page. But I know that like my agents, and I even told them because I think you and I discussed this one time that they need their own Google so that if they leave here, they will have those. But what about me? Am I the same way? And I don't want to push like my clients. I don't want to say, hey, will you send Wilco a Google review and then also send me one? So, I mean, I'm kind of torn on that. What's your thought? Should I just stick with me as far as me sticking with the Wilco, the company, and then telling my agents to do their own so that they'll just have that? What's your thought?
You're still in full production for the
Yes,
most
yes,
part, right?
yeah, I
Yeah.
am. Mhm.
And if someone refers you and then someone Googles you from that referral, or someone sees your marketing and then types something into Google to vet you, what do you think they're typing in? Your name or Wilco?
Probably. Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know the answer to that. My guy may that
Yeah, and
runs
most
the.
people would probably,
But
which I mean, the answer might be somewhat equal because you
well, that's what
do
I was going to
both a
say.
lot.
Right. And I'm also a very small town and most people know me unless it's someone coming in. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I can
So
ask
you
my
could, if you, so as a broker owner, I mean, the best strategy for a brokerage in general is the brokerage profile resides at the brokerage office and
mhm,
it at least looks pretty. Maybe you don't put a lot of focus into it, but at least looks pretty and is optimized and you get enough reviews so it looks reputable, blah, blah, blah.
mhm,
And then you make the agents use their house. You are not allowed to use the office. We rank at the office. That's our spot. And then they each use their house and they can rank around their house. And you are spreading the Wilco name all around town, all these different places. And
Okay.
then the same would go for you. You would place your personal one. Or you could maybe put yours at the office if you really wanted to rank more there. But maybe, and then for you, broker owner and an agent, oops, I got it. Kind of looked like a lead too. I was tempted to answer that one. Uh, and you as a broker owner, you'd have the brokerage one and then maybe one for yourself. And then it's just a choice of which one am I really trying to work on and rank? Because you're not going to put the same effort into both of
For sure.
them.
Well, and I
Yeah,
think you just answered it for me because I don't take any new leads. So I guess that's answered my own question. I only work by referral. And so I want my office to do well so that if they call or come by or, Facebook or Google message, it goes out to my agents. And so maybe that answered my own question. I want the office one to look good, like mine as me personally, because I'm never going anywhere. This is going to be me, and so I guess I need to just stick with the office and have my agents do their own near where they are. Does that
sounds
make sense?
like it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I think. Yeah, sorry. I think you just saying all that out loud helped me figure that out.
Yeah, and if you wanted to make yourself show up more, like if someone types your name in, if you want that Google business profile, the brokerage one to pop up,
Hmm.
um, the website that's connected to it, if it talks a little bit more about you in there, I mean, I'm sure it does already, but just make sure it has your name on the website fairly prominently and talking about you. Maybe in the description, have your name in there somewhere. Just get your name around the profile a little bit in different bits and parts here and there. Um, and then the big one would be if you added it to the title, like if it was Wilco Real Estate space line space Maria, then that
Okay.
would definitely make it pop up. So you could, that would be the fastest way to have it pop up for both vetting your name and the brokerage would just add your name to the name or title.
Okay.
Um, but then the agents definitely are not going to want to support that profile probably. So then you would be almost forcing them to get their own because I
And I
wouldn't
tell,
want to if
and
yeah.
that's why I'm telling them, please, I want them to do that. Like I want them to have their own because I mean, I want them to do well, and they may not be here forever. So, um, anyway, but I think they're all too damn lazy. Excuse my language, but um, it's my issue. But anyway, that's on them. So okay, thank you. Sorry for taking so long. I know you're trying to do
No,
something.
all good.
Okay.
I would like to do days of just all ask me anything, but a lot of times people don't have questions, so I have to have something planned, but I'm
Oh
always
yeah,
down to ask questions
got
or
you. Thank
answer
you so much.
questions.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Derek.
Anybody else? Anything related to that or different?
Yeah, really quickly, Derek. I know you probably went over this, but I think I missed it. If you have multiple locations, so like I'm talking like a city 2 hours away, you can do enough. How do you do multiple locations? I know you went over this, but I missed it.
You can't have duplicate, like you can't have two for you, but you could have one for you and your wife. So you could have two separate like that, but it can't unless you are like a you have an actual second office with a second registered location with the state or whatever, or it's a separate state with a separate license and all that kind of stuff. Unless it's a official real other location for your business for you as a real estate agent, um, then you can't have another one somewhere else. So in your case, really the only way would be to separate the two of you into the two places, probably. Cool. Could you get away with it? You could try it. I wouldn't, but some people do have multiple profiles. They just put all over the place and go for it till if and when they get caught. I would not, um, but some do. All right, we'll roll into it now. News. I'm gonna run through these items real quick. I could yap about them a little bit, but I'll just name these little bullet points here for the news I have. Another reminder, quick, I've said this before, but chat messaging and the calls tracking. So two tabs in your dashboard, the messaging chat function and the calls tracking are both going away as of July 31st. So if you're in my course, I have put a note on those two tabs. They're still in there with instruction, but there is a note that they're going away. So I would not spend time on them probably. And if anybody else is optimizing your profile, you could ignore the chat messaging and calls tracking tabs. Algorithm leak. If you haven't heard, there was a Google algorithm leak, and it was actually a while ago. And I don't know why everybody seems to be making videos about it right now. Maybe because Google spoke about it recently or something, but a while ago, March through May, and some say even since 2022, there was a document, actual like thousands of pages of the Google's algorithm stating pretty much explicitly what they look for to rank websites and those kind of things and all the signals and pretty much a playbook for the most part. And everybody's been talking about it a lot recently, so I won't get into it, but if you want to learn about the algorithm leak and what they learned, really everything that I've learned, and I couldn't find the document. I would love to have the freaking document, but I can't get my hands on it. Um, Everything I've heard, it's all stuff that everybody knew anyway, for the most part. It just kind of confirmed all the things that everybody has been speculating helps you rank better. So, anything I heard was not groundbreakingly new, but still interesting. And if I could get my hands on the actual document, I would love that. So, if anybody listening has access to that, let me know. Infinite pack spotted. So when you do a local type search, typically there are website results, there are possibly local services ads, and then there is a local pack, which is what the maps results, that little widget of like three local businesses, the Google business profiles, and then you click see more and it shows you more. It has been spotted recently, and it's probably just a test. They test things a lot, but somebody did some local searches and they got back nothing but Google business profiles. So an infinite pack, no other results, no websites, no local services ads. It was just a string of Google business profiles as far as you would scroll for the most part. So an infinite pack has been spotted. And if that were to become more of a thing, that would be fantastic for Google business profiles, obviously. But they test things a lot and might not turn into anything. Gemini AI. Gemini is Google's AI. Their new features are starting to roll out slowly. I saw the text to image feature just roll out in the regular standard Gemini app. Works half decent, I guess. I don't do that a lot, so I don't really know. But messing around with the kids, we were able to come up with some cool things. And they're dropping some other stuff here and there. Project Astra, which is their personal assistant. The race is for a personal assistant. Really, all these AI companies, the race would be to get to something that you just talk to. You don't even have to say a keyword, hey Google. It just kind of knows your voice, knows when it's talking, you're talking to it, and it does everything. It does everything that ChatGPT and Google Gemini and all the different plugins and like it knows everything. It also is tapped into your calendar and your email, and it knows everything about you, everything about everything. So that's the race for all these companies, really, is to get to the best personal assistant, all around AI assistant. Which then, once you get deep into or you start paying for one of these things, you're going to have it forever, kind of like a phone service, or I mean, it's going to be a big deal. So that's kind of the arms race of AI, is to get to this personal assistant thing. And Project Astra, which is Google's, still not released yet. I can't wait till it does. I would love to try it. I've tried other ones, and they work fairly decent, but I'm Google dude, so I want to try the Google one. Calls have been happy. Oh, yeah, this was just a note that I said. It's been gangbusters over here as far as organic calls. And I will add, a lot of my calls in the business I've been getting from the Google business profile. I was riding my scooter around town yesterday, my electric scooter, to showings, and I want to do a video about it. So all this, since I've started concentrating more on very local SEO and calling out Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and I've pigeonholed myself into this Carlisle, but I rank high for Carlisle, I convert for Carlisle, and all this business I'm getting, with exceptions of Sphere or referrals, but everything I get from my Google business profile, which has been very good the last couple months. Um, is right here, is like blocks from my house, at most 5-minute drive at the most. I mean, most stuff I could walk to, ride my bike to, ride my scooter to, or whatever, which is awesome. I've never had that before. I've never really concentrated on farming a geographic area. I've just kind of, our whole market. I cover Godolphin County, Cumberland County, Perry County, and I still do. But since my Google has been tailored and pigeonholed and really focusing on ranking for that thing and niching down as far as location goes, it's been fantastic. And I don't have to drive all over creation. They're all right here in my backyard, and I know it. And I can, every time I talk to somebody, I'm like, yeah, I'm selling one right there. Yeah, I've been in that house before. Yes, I drive past that every day. Yes, I know everything about everything. So it's a big testament to pigeonholing yourself. People are hesitant to pigeonhole themselves, like put the name of the city you're verified in your Google business profile name, on your website really prominent, and just really kind of niche down. It can be very beneficial. It's scary to do, and I was scared too, but I'm loving the fruits of what it's doing. I like my real estate business better now than the last 17 years, pretty much. And a lot of it is just because it's right here. I don't have to drive all over everywhere. I sit in my house, I jump on my electric scooter to go show a house, and I drive. I went on, no, there were 3 showings yesterday, and I went to all of them on my scooter. They were laughing at me, but the daughter loved it and wanted one. So, um, anyway, that's just a note that I put here to give everybody a testament for niching down, whatever that niche is. Then you get the business that you want if you niche down and put your marketing around that thing. All right, so that's all the news, and we're like 18 minutes left. We'll start an audit. I need a profile to audit. So does anybody in here? And if you are a done for you client of mine, do not volunteer. But if you're not a done for you client of mine and you would like me to nitpick your profile, please raise your hand or speak now. If nobody wants to, I'll just pick one at random, not from the room, but just random from the internet. Somebody on
Hey,
mic?
Derek. Derek, it's Martha Schmaker from Charlotte, North Carolina.
You down?
I I would love it. I'm on it right now and I'm sure there's some things I need help with. I haven't really gotten it fully set up.
Okay. What town are you in?
Charlotte,
Charlotte. Did you say that already?
no, okay, North Carolina.
Gotcha. All right, I got you on my computer. Charlotte Waxhaw.
Yep.
Is that the brokerage name? No. Is that a town?
Waxhaw is my personal address. Um, and then Charlotte is where the um office address is.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So actually, we'll just start there. So if anybody's following along or wants to look at what I'm looking at, the Google Maps, I have it pulled up on my desktop and on my phone on Google Maps, but for everybody's information, the Google Maps app, and make sure you're using Google Maps and not Apple Maps. That's the start. But on the Google Maps app is the best place to look at your profile or any other profile. But it utilizes all the features, all the bells and whistles, all the things that we add when we're really nitty gritty optimizing the crap out of it. It utilizes pretty much everything and displays it the best. So that's where I like to audit profiles, or that's where I search for businesses also. But that's where I like to look at profiles. So if you have the Google Maps app, which you should, you can pull up Martha. Is it Schmecker, or did you say, yeah, Schmecker? Is that how you pronounce it? Martha Schmecker, Realtor, Charlotte, Waxhaw. So if you're following along, you should be able to find it on Google Maps if you type in that stuff. So I'm on there. So we'll start with the name. The name, obviously, you want your name on there, so that's good. Leave that there. Then you have a space dash space separator. Nitpicky there, but I like to use a vertical line instead of a dash just because it's a little bit prettier. The vertical line is usually the shift function of one of the slashes, and that's not a huge deal, but I would do a vertical line there. Then I would have EXP at the end, that's good. You want EXP Realty all the way at the end, separated with a space line space there as well. The middle part where you're calling out realtor and the place, I would reword that slightly. This, what you're putting in there is probably good, but I would maybe for readability change it up a little bit. Instead of realtor Charlotte Waxaw, I would put where are you actually verified? Charlotte or Waxhaw? Charlotte. Your address is Charlotte. So I would put Martha Schmecker, line, vertical or space, vertical line, space, Charlotte, or no, Waxhaw and Charlotte Realtor, because I want the Charlotte Realtor to be together as a string because you are actually verified in Charlotte. So we want to say Waxhaw, and if you want to resonate with people for Waxhaw for whatever reason, that's fine to have in there. Like I have Boiling Springs and Carlisle Realtor, so I kept Carlisle right next to Realtor. So Carlisle Realtor is still a keyword theme, but then I also have Boiling Springs in there. So I would do Martha Schmecker, space, vertical line, space, Waxhaw and Charlotte Realtor, space, vertical line, space, EXP Realty. So the name, you're already pretty good there ahead of the battle. It looks like you've probably listened to me say some things and have a lot of the things I say in there. Maybe just structuring it a little slightly differently would be a little bit better. Reviews. Well, obviously we got to get some reviews. So it says 5 stars on there. 10's going to be the minimum, and you'll even see sometimes you'll get an email that says similar profiles with 5 or more show better. So you'll see 5 as the number sometimes, but amongst SEOs, 10 is usually the number we use for Google to show you at all to anybody. And even before 10 reviews, sometimes, like I'm kind of surprised I could find it. Sometimes it's even hard to find your own profile to edit it before you have 10 reviews without typing it in like verbatim what your title is. So I would get those 10 reviews ASAP, and then obviously sky's the limit for reviews, and you never stop, and that's one of the biggest ranking factors, if not the biggest. So reviews for sure. I would probably implement some of the stuff we'll be talking about and optimize the profile a little bit more before you go ask for the reviews, because hopefully this review campaign will be like the hardest review campaign you ever go on because you're getting started and I need to build up 10 or 20 as fast as possible, and then you can relax a little bit and get one every once in a while. The more the better, obviously, but it might be a little bit tough at the beginning and you're going to ask a lot of people, so you might want to make it look pretty and as good as it can look before you start sending tons of people there. And a few things you could do to ask for reviews. I would, if you've never done mass asking, meaning just sending a request out to your entire email list, posting it on social media. Here's my link. If you like me, bless me with a review. Any other mass asking techniques, text it to all your friends and family, whatever. So the mass asking, if you haven't done it recently or ever, do that now. You know, you're live. Even if you picked up 2, it's still every single one every once in a while is worth it. And in a few years, all of a sudden you got more than the next person. So do the mass asking for sure. And then you can set a schedule for yourself of however often you want to do it. I think I do the social post once a quarter. Actually, I'm due for one, I think. And sometimes you might get 7, sometimes you get 1, but either way is fine. As long as I get 1 out of it, that's fine. Mission accomplished. So you can mass ask now right away, and then put yourself on a schedule to mass ask maybe every 6 months or at least once a year. I think is reasonable to hit people up and ask people, and it's not going to be repetitive or too much. And then obviously transactions in progress and when they close, if you can get a review during the process, that's a lot better because then you don't have to worry about it afterwards and they're kind of on to other things sometimes. But however you have to do it, definitely current things in progress and when they close, be asking them ongoing. And you can get for reviews, you can get anybody to give you a review. Anybody that has quote unquote interacted with the business per Google can give a review. So even if somebody called you and it was the wrong number and they were looking for John's Plumbing and you said, oh, I don't know, but here's a good plumber, and you were helpful, they could give you a review and say Martha was super helpful. I would give her 5 stars, blah, blah, blah. That's a valid review. So really, and for me, anybody that will give a review doesn't matter who it is, as long as they don't have the same last name. And obviously, like it's my mommy giving me a review, don't do that. But and don't word them that way, the reviews themselves either. But as long as it's not obvious that you're connected and they're not wording it in a weird connected way, any damn person that will click 5 stars and write a sentence or two, and you do need to have them write something. Google doesn't like them without any text, but it doesn't have to be long. But any damn person that will click 5 stars and write something, you want. And you want to stack up the numbers as much as possible. Getting good written, well written reviews is important, but numbers is slightly more important, I would say, and just stacking up numbers is really is big. So the reviews, I ranted a little bit long on that, but the reviews for sure, I would work on that. And I have a video in my profile somewhere if you want that, or on my website in the video bank about 8 ways to get reviews. You know, put it in your email signature, mass ask, social pro or social post, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. Um, your categories, which are huge, that would be one of the top 5 ranking factors. Your categories are kind of like switches. If you don't have the right one selected or turned on, then you're going to get demoted when people search for that thing. So you have real estate agent selected, but you also need to have real estate agent selected as your secondary category, and then another secondary category or tertiary, is that the word? Category, real estate consultant. So you want to make sure you have real estate agent, real estate agency, and real estate consultant all selected as your categories. Then you want to go over to your services and select all the pre-populated services that Google has provided for each category. So you would click on your services and you would click on add services under real estate agent, and then you would just select all the ones that apply. And there should be, I don't know, 10 or so maybe in there. And then you have to go scroll down, go under real estate agency, and again select all the ones that apply, and then go under real estate consultant, and again select all the ones that apply. If there are redundant ones, a lot of them are redundant, they exist under real estate agent, agency, and consultant. If you select it under real estate agent, it will automatically populate below. On the services, if you want to go an extra step, and this does not help you rank or anything, but makes you look prettier, if you want to go back then after you select the services, you can click on the services and add descriptions in there for the services as well. And I put like a little emoji at the beginning that kind of relates to the service or whatever. So categories for sure, you need to select all 3 of those. And then services for sure, you need to select all the services that apply under every category, and then the descriptions under the services. I don't know that you need to spend too much time on that. If you're being anal and you hired me, I do that. But does that help you rank better or anything? Probably not too much. And that is a lot of work writing. Ends up being like 30 different descriptions. You could use ChatGPT or something if you wanted to, but definitely at least select all the categories and services that apply. Where are we at? 6 of. Maybe we'll come back to yours next week and we'll make it, or the week after next and do some more. But those 2 things alone, the name and the category, those are 2 of the top 5 ranking factors. So I would definitely do that. Looks like your chat is not turned on, but now that the change and that's going away, I don't care about that. So I don't need to do that. I also saved you to my referral network, so you're in there now. Let's see, services, your photos section. Looks like a few photos of you. So photo section is the second most viewed section of your Google Business profile. The reviews and your photo section are the 2 most viewed things. Obviously, your photo section is way up at the top when you're looking at it, so it makes sense that people would be looking at that. You want to, first of all, add a cover image. The cover image should be a picture of you or something that relates to the place or something that is very real estatey, like the exterior of the house, and then some kind of words superimposed on top of it, like call out Carlisle, Pennsylvania real estate agent. Call out what they searched for. So people are typing in Carlisle Realtor. They'll see in my title that I'm Carlisle Realtor. They'll see in my cover main showcase image that I'm Carlisle Realtor. So this person is what I looked for. And then they scan the stars. They see a bunch of stars. Oh, I can trust. They look cool. Click on it to peruse further. And then when they click on my Google Business profile, I mean, it's going to dominate any other profile. So that's the goal there. So cover photo, definitely add a cover photo. Add a logo. Your logo should be your headshot. Looks like you have a headshot there. I can't tell if it's in your logo slot or not. But your headshot should be in your logo slot for sure. And then create an actual cover image that's kind of tailor made for your Google Business Profile as a cover image. And then in your photos section, I would dump right away at least 20 to 25 pictures of past sales houses, exteriors, just like the main photo of the house, like the main MLS photo, and any client photos. So just drop in there, amass as many as you can, and drop them in there. And then ongoing, every sale, there should be two pictures, a house and the client, and both of those pictures get dropped in your photos section untouched, no gobbledygook, no logos, no you cut out with a scissors in Canva superimposed on top, no logos, no phone numbers, no nothing on them. Just a nice, pretty pristine portfolio of your past work. Your photo section, look at it as if like if you made a coffee table book, a nice giant hardbound, classy hardbound coffee table book about your past sales. This is what your photos section would look like. Just a nice, classy pictures of houses and client faces. Some interiors are okay. They don't scream real estate. They can kind of confuse the mind with furniture, interior design, or architecture are going other ways. Some interiors are okay if it's like a wow factor shot, but definitely don't drop all 30 listing photos in there. Just main shot, maybe a couple main shots, and then client photo. Hopefully, when it settles. And you also want to have at least one video. So videos they will use a video as your showcase image or your secondary image, and it will auto play now. So video used to be like, don't care about it on the Google Business Profile. Now that they're starting to showcase it, either as your showcase image or your secondary image, it is nice to have at least one video in your photos section so that you have that movement and that stand outedness from the other people. So I would advise at least one video. Think about what the video is. Maybe go to my profile and see mine is just a slideshow of client pics, but go to some profiles that maybe have video and see how it plays and how you think what video you might want to be screaming at people when they click on your profile, and formulate something to put in there. So don't just drop any old video, or every time you put a video on other social media, put it in your photo section. I would not do that. Just frankly, I would delete every single video. If you have video, you don't, but others, if you have videos, delete every single one, and then add one video that you want to be that showcase video. And then any video that you add from there on out should be showcase worthy, because Google might choose that one to be your showcase video. You don't get to choose that, they just do it. So you definitely want to have at least one video, if not a couple videos, but at least one, and make it kind of a formulated, thought out video for the Google Business Profile, not just something you're slapping in there. And we're at 2 of, and I'm about to jump into this AI. Martha, you still there? You catching all this?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Derek. I appreciate it. That's some
Yeah,
work to do
sweet.
today.
There you go. And we'll come back next time and keep going through it. And we will check. This is cool to have somebody in the room that we're doing, because then we can check your progress and keep you accountable too. So
Oh, okay.
not next week, but the week after. So you got 2 weeks
All
to do
right.
it.
All right. Heard.
We'll come back. Any questions or anything quick? Anybody? Nothing? Sweet. Thanks for letting me keep it moving here. Hopefully everybody learned something. It was a good room, actually. A lot of questions, like that always. And if I can fill up space without having a presentation, that's always good. And I'm liking this audit too. There's a lot to dive into on this audit. So I'm looking forward to keep going on that and to track your progress. So everybody, see you back here next Wednesday at 9. Replay will be emailed out if anybody missed anything via MailChimp. If you are on my email list, if you're not on my email list, click the link above and you'll probably be proctored to enter your email into my email list, or just reach out to me or whatever. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time.